Avalanche Badookie to 11th, finding his home and transferring to UNC, there was only one problem. He was now third on the depth chart, and I was kind of confused coming from an SEC. But going into the first practice, Avalanche absolutely was dropping back into coverage, but he read it like a book and went down and got him and said, "Get on that ground. I'm going to get all of you and hit you and boom as hard as I can." And he absolutely ran in his chest. I'm not going to lie, but that's all coach needed to see. He said next week you can challenge that next string. Going into our first game against South Carolina, Avalanche Badookie to 11th has already been in a situation like this, and it was at Vanderbilt, and he absolutely earned the #1 spot, so he could do it here as well. But sitting on that bench did not feel good after coming off of 2 great seasons. He absolutely didn't like it at all. And South Carolina, they came to play. I was watching our offense struggle, but with our defense absolutely coming to play and getting stops on 4th and 2, I said I got to go out there on special teams and make special plays and special players, and I absolutely didn't do nothing at all but tried to make a block. So on kickoff, I said, let me go be a special teams player, and I absolutely hauled it down there, and I boomed him, man. That was a hit. And after that hit, man, coach gave me a shot at the field, and on 2nd and 10, I bent the edge, and that was a great seal by me, but I didn't make the tackle. But on 4th and 11, I hauled it again, and I said, I got to keep making plays, and I absolutely hit him again. I was out there like a magnet. This time, I about got pushed out of bounds. But one thing about this Badookie family, we are relentless, and he went down there and made another tackle, and I mean, coach was just fired up with all the plays that he was making, so he put him back on the field, and man, I forced a fumble and got up, was fired up with my teammate. But going into the next one on 3rd and 4, I absolutely pissed the bed. I could have made a game-changing winning hit right there and set the momentum for the team, but I just didn't. But boom, I cleaned his clock. I sure did and made him fair catch the next time. But on kickoff, I absolutely said, I am having a day on special teams, and went down there and made another big hit. So on 1st and 10, I was absolutely reading this, and oh man, I jumped that corner route and said, I'm gonna take this all the way to the crib. With my first interception, man, I about lost it. It was like a dream come true, but coach took me out and we got the turnover and we go on and win the game, and Avalanche Badookie the 11th ends the game off with 6 total tackles. After a great game, coach gave me the chance to go to the position battle against M. Allen, and I absolutely dropped my interception, but he gave me a lot of points, and I absolutely hit Drake, man, threw him to the ground, and coach said, man, that was impressive. But boom, I cleaned his clock to win me the position of number 2 on the depth chart. After winning the position battle and absolutely being number 2 on the depth chart, I almost come away with my 2nd interception of the season, so I threw him out of bounds and almost caught a penalty, and coach would have been mad if I would have got that one. So on 1st and 10, I tried to make up for it and send a blitz, and that absolutely was terrible. Being that I'm already a junior, I can't be making no simple mistakes if I want to go to the league, but dropping another interception, I also can't drop the ball as well. And the 3rd and 19, I'm just having a terrible game. I'm getting burnt. But on 1st and 10, I try to bend the corner on that one, but that number 83 is giving me a hard game, and I'm kind of getting frustrated out there. And on 3rd and 6, I get burnt once again, and trying to meet them outside, they will go in and score. So on 4th and 3, I'm just sitting there doing nothing, but we get the turnover. We win the game. I only had 3 total tackles. Man, that was a terrible game. Going into our next week and having a bye week, it's time to show coach that I can take that #1 spot. So absolutely sitting in my zone, I came down and tried to boom and break his ribs. I'm not gonna lie, I tried to hurt him, but absolutely not knowing what I'm doing out there, just sitting in a zone. I reacted to that play too late and made the tackle, but coming across that middle, that's another big hit. So coach said next week you could challenge that next string. Going into our next game against Georgia Tech and still being the number 2 cornerback, I didn't have a problem with it because I was still gonna go out there and play my game, but dropping balls like that, I absolutely have to go to practice and absolutely get in a lab of catching balls, and I absolutely got burnt, but I made up for it. But on 1st and 10, I absolutely was in man-to-man, and this quarterback scrambled out. My senses told me to go and boom him and clean his clock, and I absolutely did so. But on 2nd and 3, boom, I'm going to clean his clock as well for getting a first down. But on 3rd and 8, I absolutely stayed in man-to-man, and the quarterback threw it, but we forced the 4th down, and they kicked 3. But on 2nd and 5, sitting back in my zone, I was getting burnt all night, and just look at that catch he made on both of us. But we going to win the game, and I have to do better. I ended the game off with 5 total tackles. So somehow you may be wondering, how are you even getting to go against the #1 cornerback after having 2 bad games back to back? I was wondering the same thing, but I said, forget it. Going out there, I'm going to compete regardless because I'm a Badookie, but absolutely getting back in coverage. We had great coverage there, and coach said you are now the #1 cornerback on the depth chart. Going into our next game against East Carolina, I had to step it up because now I have a lot on my plate, and for some odd reason, I go ahead and blitz again, making that rookie mistake, and they driving all the way down the field, and on 1st and goal, didn't even defend the wide receiver, man. What was I doing? I was just disappointed in myself. But with my great teammates being great teammates and picking me up, we get a turnover, and that kind of fired me up. Boom! No, it didn't, man. I was still just having a terrible game. But on 3rd and 20, I absolutely let him run a slant route, but I caught him and laid a big hit, but that wasn't nothing. 2 total tackles in the whole game. Are you kidding me? Going into our next game against Virginia Tech on 3rd and 6, if I don't step my game up, then my position will be gone. But on 1st and 10, I absolutely clubbed over Rip and made a big hit on his QB. But on 2nd and 4, I came down and boomed him and made sure to clean his clock and said, I'm going to have a good game this game. But on 2nd and 6, I absolutely came over and horse collared this kid. But on 1st and 10, I caught him across the middle and laid another big hit. And on 1st and goal, I'm sitting in my zone, but they absolutely dotted up in the back of the end zone. Man, that was a throw by the QB. I'll give it to him, but staying in my zone, that had nothing to do with me. And this tight end threw him off of him and said he's going to get up that field, and they will go and kick 3. It's 12-23, so I'm sitting in man-to-man, and I said I wanted it, so I went to go get it. And on 3rd and 3, I'm sitting in man-to-man again, and the QB threw it right to me. Thank you. I'm going to try to return it, buddy. So I had to try to bend the corner, but they absolutely horse-collared me. I had a better game. 7 total tackles and 1 interception. Let's get it. On into our next game against the University of Miami. On 3rd and 10, I was absolutely here to strap this kid up all game. This was the wide receiver they talked about all week, and I said I'm going to put it into him. On 1st and 10, man, I came down and said, no, you're not catching anything on me. Either one of you receivers, boom, I'm going to make sure, man, I tried to clip his ankles, but he got off of it. But on 2nd and 9, he pitched the ball to him, and I made sure to be there on everything. I wanted to be on point on everybody, all I can this game, and I said I'm going to bring it. And on 1st and 10, they absolutely had a read. I said, boom, he came down, and he felt me. I'm telling you he did. And on 3rd and 7, look at him. Watch this. I'm going to come down and absolutely try to take ACL, MCL out. And on 1st and 10, I'm going to catch an interception. I told you there was no fly zone coming my way. We kneel the ball, going to win the game, and I end the game off with 4 total tackles and 1 interception. On into our next game against Boston College, it was going to be the best game, bam, of my life, and I was going to make sure to leave my mark. And on 1st and 10, I came around this corner, sealed the edge, and laid a big hit on the running back. And on 1st and 10, I knew it was a motion reverse, and I came over and laid another big hit. And on 3rd and 7, I was absolutely burnt thanks to my safety. Tip drill was everything. Thank you, buddy. Now it's time to return it. I absolutely said I was going to follow his block. I went back inside, broke a tackle, but they rallied to that ball. But you thought that was it for me? On 1st and 10, I read this one right here and said, no, sir. No fly zone my way. Came down and absolutely laid a big hit. But on 3rd and 9, you think I'm not going to bam, clean your clock? You must be in for another one, buddy. But on 3rd and 13, I said this number 2 wasn't getting away from me at all. And on 2nd and 7, I said, hulk the ball. I will absolutely try to turn around and return it, but they are all over it. They are not letting me escape. But on 1st and 10, I mean, that might have been the greatest read in history. I could take it all the way, and I will go for 6, and I was absolutely fired up. But on 2nd and 10, I said I could have had one more. No, I would not get it. He will step out of bounds. I go on and get player of the game with 5 total tackles and 3 interceptions. On into our next game against NC State. On 1st and 10, this QB ran the ball, and he went outside, and I don't know why, because he wasn't going anywhere. But on 2nd and 3, he bent the corner. He must not know that I'm a magnet to the ball. But on 4th and 8, oh man, I absolutely read that and caught it with one hand. Come on, baby. Avalanche, Badookie 11th. You have to pull away with that. But on 1st and goal, I'm sitting here and I absolutely got routed up. He hit me with a corner outside in. I don't even know what kind of route that was, but I got burnt. I mean, I was just having a bad game to start off with. But it's 17-31. I'm sitting in my zone again, and will I get burnt? Yes, I will. But we win the game. I end the game off for 3 total tackles. On to our next game against Virginia. On 3rd and 14, I read the slant route so beautiful. I mean, I thought I was going to intercept it, but number 17 was like DK Metcalf. He was not going down. But on 1st and 10, boom, I came over and tried to throw him to the ground. And on 2nd and 14, I said I was going to be patient and try to go grab it, and I almost did. But on 3rd and 1, I had a man-to-man, and I stayed in, and the ball got thrown right to me. Juke, oh man, where is he going? But let's see that again. Juke, oh man, that was crazy. But on 1st and 10, I came down and laid that boom. But on 1st and 10, his QB rolled out, and he just wanted to feel it some more, so I gave him another one. But on 2nd and 12, I was absolutely in the middle. Boom, I'm gonna clean your clock every time. Just don't run the ball my way. But on 2nd and 6, I got a little too ahead of myself. He will absolutely burn me. And on 2nd and goal, boom, I'm just gonna lay the wood then. Either way you go, I'm gonna win. But no, we go down and lose. They kick the game-winning field goal, and Drake May was pissed. The Avalanche, Badookie 11th. This is the game off for 7 total tackles. On to our next game against Pittsburgh. On 3rd and 6, I absolutely almost had a one-hand interception to the crib, but I dropped the ball with the butterfingers that I have. But on the goal line, we stopped them and made them kick 3. But we went down and scored. But boom, I came around that corner, bent it, and absolutely laid a big hit on him. But on 2nd and 7, I'm out here getting embarrassed. I think I'm just kind of giving up because I think the game is over. But a one-hand catch like that, that is ridiculous. That should never happen on a cornerback. But on 1st and 10, I made up for it, buddy. I absolutely caught the interception. Don't get ahead of yourself now. I made up for it. But coming down, I made another big hit. But going into the next play, we absolutely are up 42-13, so we going to win the ball game. And I end the game off with 3 total tackles and 1 interception. Going into our next one is a rainy one, but on 1st and 10, the linebackers wasn't filling the hole, so I came down and filled it down the middle. And on 3rd and 4, I was guarding this receiver, and he caught the ball. Boom! Guess what? I know you in real life, buddy. Jordan Bly, you're mine. Boom! On 2nd and 12, I had a hard flat, and I was trying to bait this tight end up, and man, when I hit him, when I say this boy was top heavy, that boy was a big boy. But on 1st and 10, I absolutely intercept this ball because all of these receivers on ODU are just trash. My coach took me out of the game. We're going to win the ball game. I ended the game off with 4 total tackles and 1 interception. Going into our next game against Duke. You know the rivalry that we have, and we have to come out here and take the bell. But on 1st and 10, I absolutely missed the tackle, and the quarterback, they always have an Andrew Luck type of quarterback. It's just confusing. But he almost took it for 6, and man, I was kind of mad. And look at that. My coverage was terrible. And on 1st and 10, he bent that corner, and I made sure to get over there to try to make a big hit. But on 2nd and 10, they threw that ball so fast, I hit him, horse-collared him. I didn't even care. But on 2nd and 10, I said, interception, give me that. Thank you. I gave all praises to the Most High. And on 2nd and 14th, I got kind of burnt on my man-to-man. I was trying to bait him up, but the quarterback bent the corner, and I came around that corner, and boom! Oh, man. But on 1st and 10, thank you, another one. I intercept that ball again, juke this time. I'm trying to get back for 6 because all season I couldn't get to that box because they always rally the ball. But on 1st and 10, not being in my zone, that's the type of player I am. Boom! I want to be all around and make the plays. But on 4th and 12, he absolutely caught the ball, but I hit him so hard he dropped it. I ended the game off with 5 total tackles. Man, we prayed to be here. Going into the ACC championship, man, I started off with a sack, man, and I was turned up. And on 1st and 10, I was sitting in my zone, but I got kind of burnt, but I said I'm going to try to go catch him and dive the wrong way. And he absolutely threw my teammate off of him, and they were on the goal line. But on 1st and goal, I'm not going to lie. I take responsibility for this first score, but I'm going to back it up. On 3rd and 11, no, I didn't. I got burnt again. I was not here to play this game. And on 1st and goal, I came in and missed the tackle again. Oh, man, I'm just not here to play today. But on 2nd and goal, with 8 seconds on the clock, we had a good stop and made them kick 3, but that wasn't good enough. On 1st and 10, I came down and bammed him. It was time to change the game up. On 3rd and 10, I had put my hands up and knocked that ball out. That's no fly zone. Bam, meet that quarterback in that backfield and show him what's up. But on 4th and 20, I was sitting in my zone and came down and said, get to that ground. I'm not going to play with you. But we were now ACC champions, man, and this is a dream come true. Going into our next game against Ohio State was a bowl game. We were ranked number 8, and we did not make it to that national championship, and I got dunked on. But on 3rd and 13, I came and almost tried to get a one-hand interception, but that just didn't happen. And on 3rd and 6, this wide receiver burnt me. That was absolutely burnt me, but that kind of wasn't all my fault. That wasn't my whole zone. But on 1st and 10, they got more yards after that hit, and on 1st and 10, I came back down and tried to lay another hit, but they were just getting the first downs. But on 3rd and 11, I was guarding my man, but they were dying up on the other side as well. But on 3rd and 6, I thought I had great defense, but didn't intercept the ball. I made the tackle, and on 1st and 10, I tried to blitz and then fell in the rain, and they will go on to score. I just had a horrible game. They go on and win the bowl game, and we played absolutely terrible. But one good thing, Avalanche Badookie 11th led the NCAA in interceptions with 11. But this is the end of his junior season. His senior year is going to be a movie. Tune in.